Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Longevity Kitchen. I'm Julie Gibson Clark, and this is my kitchen. And this week on Longevity Kitchen, we are actually not going to cook anything. We are going to talk about fasting. There are so many different forms of fasting, and I don't think I want to get into too many of those. I'm just going to recommend a really wonderful book, Dr. Jason Fung. It's called Fasting, and he goes over all the different types of fasting. I don't remember if the type that I'm going to use is in there, but I'm going to recommend a second book to you called The Fasting Mimicking Diet by a Dr. Walter Longo, and he's out of Southern California, originally from Italy. He's wonderful to listen to, but he developed this fasting mimicking diet where you can actually eat a little bit of calories every day. He's figured out the exact macros and micros and all that's needed, that you can still have a little bit of food every day, which makes your fast a lot more comfortable, and you're still getting all the benefits of like a typical water fast, which is fantastic. Because as somebody I've done several multi-day water fasts, and I usually hit somewhere day 2, day 3, and I just hit a wall. I push myself to make it to day 4. And I do it, but it's very, very uncomfortable. And one of the things I didn't like about that, not only is it very, very uncomfortable just doing a water fast, I found my muscles, I was losing a lot of muscle mass, and that was not very helpful. Obviously, for longevity, we want to keep that, our muscles big and strong as long as possible. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try the fasting mimicking diet. This will be my third, and it is like head and shoulders so much easier. And it's just a wonderful way to fast because it's a little bit more comfortable. It's not, easy by any means, but it is way more comfortable than a water fast. So I don't know, maybe you should do the water fast first and then try a fasting mimicking diet, and you'll see how much easier it is. I don't know. At any rate, what I really want to talk to you about is how I want to turbocharge my fasting mimicking diet this week. So it's a 5-day fast, and there's a certain amount of calories every day. But the past 2 times I've done it, and actually every time I've fasted, the 2 things that I really struggle with are energy during the day and sleeping at night. It's very difficult, and I'm not sure why. I'm sure maybe it's just my body doing all the stuff it needs to do, but I find it difficult to get to sleep at night. And then I also find it then in the morning, I wake up and, I'm okay when I first wake up, but somewhere around 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm just kind of dragging. And so I wanted to try a few things that might help combat those things. And then when I was looking for those things, I found a few other products that I think might turbocharge my fast. So we're going to try this. I found this great company called Cymbiotika. I had noticed them in my grocery store Sprouts. I had seen they had this glutathione and vitamin C, both liposomal. And I thought, wow, that's really cool because, the liposomal technology is really helpful for delivery. But at any rate, let's get into how I'm going to do this. So the fasting mimicking diet, I'm basically going to be, eating from 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. But around that, I'm going to be adding some nutrient to help, again, turbocharge it. So I found this product called Shilajit, again, by Cymbiotika, and it is supposed to help with energy, and it's full of minerals, and it smells absolutely delicious. I'm going to have to show you how to use it. I'll do that in a second video here in just a second, but it smells so wonderful. I wonder if you can see that there. It's just pure black resin, and it is like it's full of fulvic and humic, I can't say that, humic minerals. At any rate, it's really good for you. And it's supposed to help you with energy. So we're going to see, and it's got this fun way of dipping it in the resin, and it smells really, really good. So I will show you how to use that in just a second. But so I'm going to do that first thing in the morning with my cup of green tea, which will be the only caffeine that I'll have during the day. Then I'll go do my modified workout, which will be, just kind of some walking, some light weights, nothing major because again, I'm not fueling my body like I normally would, but I don't want to lose it. So, and I find on the fasting mimicking diet, I find that I can still do a small and, easy workout. So I'm going to go do that. I'll have my sauna because, of course, as you well know, that's very detoxifying. And then after I get home, as soon as I get home, I'm going to have my vitamin C and liposomal, both liposomal vitamin C and liposomal glutathione. Both of those then work synergistically together and really help bind to any toxins. It's a master, so glutathione is one of the master antioxidants, and you can make your own, but that production slows as you get older. And you can take things like N-acetylcysteine and I think alpha lipoic acid. There are a few other things you can take that help your body produce more glutathione. It's just not something I can take when I'm on a fasting mimicking diet. It would just destroy my stomach. So there's no way I can do that. So I wanted to try this liposomal because I know that when it's delivered in that way, it is more absorbable. So to just kind of stress the importance of glutathione, it is when kids are found to have heavy metals. The doctor that I work with, she worked with a lot of kids. And if they had high heavy metals, she could not give them a chelator because it's very, very dangerous for children. But she would give them glutathione, and that goes in and it binds to the metals. And then you actually, just urinate it out. Very similar to a chelator, but without all the, the dangers. So it's really good to have. And I just think like after the sauna, when my body's kind of dumping probably extra toxins, it'll be great to come home and have that help that, bind to those, whatever toxins are happening there, and excrete it out. And then I'll have my eating window again from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then I want to take charcoal, and activated charcoal, is normally something, again, it binds to everything. And if I wasn't taking the Shilajit, I would actually take it first thing in the morning, because you need like nothing in your stomach before you take it, and you need to have nothing in your stomach for several hours after you take it, because it will bind to anything and everything that you take. So if I took it with the Shilajit, any benefits that might come from the Shilajit would be negated. They would just be absorbed by the charcoal. Charcoal is a great toxin absorber. Not that you guys do this, because I know that you're all like interested in longevity, but if you ever did drink too much, this is a great thing to have when you do. So I don't do any of that anymore. I don't drink anymore. But if you do, and God forbid you had a little too much, or you just feel a little hungover, charcoal is great. But you just have to remember, take a minimum of 2 hours on either side of it where you're having nothing, because it's going to bind to that. And then it's not going to bind to the toxins that you want it to bind to. So I'm going to take that. Again, stop eating at 4. I'll take this at 6 or 6:30. And then, like I said, I'd had trouble in the past sleeping when I'm on a fasting mimicking diet. So I thought, I'm going to try this again, liposomal technology, magnesium threonate. So when, again, anything delivered liposomally typically can be way better absorbed, and especially when you're considering that I'm fasting, so I'm not having a lot of fats, and I don't, so I know that these things will be absorbed. And I also love the fact that they're not pills, that they're just these liquid things that you can mix in water or just suck down. But at any rate, I'm going to take the magnesium threonate to help with sleep, because magnesium threonate is one of the only forms of magnesium and one of the few things that crosses the blood-brain barrier and can really help relax your brain and get into sleep. So I'm very excited to try that. So we'll have to come up with ways to track it. Obviously I have a sleep tracker, so I'll have to go back and look at the last fasting mimicking diet I did and see what my sleep numbers were on there and compare it to this, so we can see how this is working. I won't have any way to test the charcoal, but the glutathione and the vitamin C, I think the test is going to be, I'm going to use like my skin as a test, because I know in the past when I've gone in for glutathione IV, my skin just starts glowing beyond, it's absolutely amazing. And so I've just spent, the last 6 days in Hawaii, and I've always had sunscreen on my face, and I find like too much of that zinc kind of just clogs up my skin, or it's just kind of dull, and that's how it feels right now. So I'm excited to see if this helps me brighten it up. And of course, this Shilajit, I'll just know if I have energy in the afternoon. I'm really excited to see if I don't have that, drag. But outside of that, the only other things I'll be taking are my Novos, and then I will be taking my NMN with Novos in the morning, and that is it. That's all I'm going to be taking, and the rest I'm just going to let my body do what it needs to do. So what is happening actually when you fast or on a fasting mimicking diet? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of senescent cells or zombie cells. It happens as we get older. We have a lot of these things build up. They're cells that have done all the divisions they're going to do, but then they refuse to kind of die and go out the pathways that they're supposed to, and it can cause a lot of problems, inflammation being one of them. So what you do when you're fasting, you're introducing this cellular autophagy, or self-eating. So it starts cleaning up all those zombie cells and getting rid of them. It creates cellular repair, stem cells. It actually increases your human growth hormone as well, and it also helps the longevity associated genes become more active. So that's what happens on like a 5-day, multi-day, 5-day fast. Again, you can read much more about this in either Fasting Mimicking Diet. I think as it relates to longevity, the Fasting Mimicking Diet book is going to be more relevant. The Fasting by Jason Fung just talks about the benefits of fasting, and that's also very, very helpful. So I'll put those links, but in the meantime, I'm excited to get started, and I'll check in with you guys every day. I'll track my weight as well. I don't, let you guys know how much I'm losing. I'd imagine a lot of that's going to be water weight. I'm not, that's not my goal. But anyway, all right, let's see how it goes. Okay, let me show you how to use this. This is a really cool delivery. So Shilajit is like this black resin. It's amazing. I'm going to open it up here. And I wish you could smell this. It has the most unique smell. Can you see? Satiny that is. So let me show you how it works. You've got this really cool little delivery device, and it's got marks on here depending on how much you want to use. So I'm going to use 0.5 grams, which is the second mark. So basically you just dip this down until it hits that second mark. So it kind of gives you a good idea. I've probably gone a little farther than I need to. Let's see here. So you can just wipe some off. So look at this. I just want you to see though how cool this is. Look at that. Look at that resin. Isn't that amazing? It's just such a cool product. So I probably got a little too much on here, but then you take this, I love the way they've designed this, and then you just hook it onto the edge of your cup, and the warm water, it will melt into the warm water. So that is really, really cool. And then you just kind of stir it. I wish I had a glass cup so you could kind of see it melting down. If you get on their website, I think there's somebody who's done that and you can see it. But at any rate, it's going to be mixed with some warm green tea. And if you didn't want to use green tea, you could drink it with coffee. You could also just have it with warm water and some lemon and maybe some honey if you wanted to sweeten it. It has such a unique, I can't describe it. The smell is amazing. And I'm just going to kind of agitate it this way and get it to come off because probably need just a little bit more warm water. So you could just put it in there and then just let it sit and then stir it up. And that's how you use the Shilajit. I think it's a really exciting little product. I'm happy to try this and let you guys know how it goes. It'll just be a fun new ritual to have day one complete. And I do have a smile on my face because day one is pretty easy. I mean, I'm a little hungry, like, oh gosh, like a treat sounds good, but I have to remind myself, oh yeah, no, that's right, I'm fasting, I can't have that. So, but day one is pretty easy. It's not, it's not a cakewalk, haha, pun intended, but it's not that hard either. I do have to make a correction on the Shilajit. I was saying it was fulvic and humic acid or whatever the other acid is, but it's only fulvic acid and 84 minerals. And I was doing a little bit of more research on the Cymbiotika Shilajit, and apparently it's also detoxifying. I guess I didn't really know that. I just thought it was good for energy, but it is actually, the minerals in it are also helpful in detoxification. So anyway, just a fun fact. And again, it's just a delicious, and by delicious, I don't mean that it tastes like cake. It just has this very unique flavor. It's kind of like trying to describe the flavor of coffee to somebody. It's just such a weird, unique thing that we like. And this has that sort of weird, unique, earthy flavor. I can't get over the smell. And maybe some of you won't like the smell, but I just love it. It's just such an interesting an interesting product. So I'm really excited. And I will say, I haven't had any problems with energy today. Usually, again, it's like a 1 or 2 o'clock that I kind of just dip down. I've had zero issues with that. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm looking forward to trying the Threonate tonight to see if that helps me sleep. It's been nice to have the glutathione and the vitamin C today too. It's just kind of a nice little add. So that is day 1 in a nutshell. Pretty easy. Not too hungry, a little, you know, like I could eat, but I'm okay. So, all right, day 1 complete. Day 2 check-in, you guys. Day 2 is tough. I'm hungry. I'm just hungry. I'm just going to say it. I'm hungry, and I'm not grumpy. I don't get too grumpy. I don't get hangry anymore. I think now that I'm like healthy, so when I get hungry, I'm just hungry. And anyway, and I made the mistake of opening some of my cooking blog emails this morning. Like, hot tip, don't do that. It's just to look at any pictures of any type of food. It's not the day to do it. So even like watching TV, if the ads have food in it, it's like, that's not the day. This is not the day to do it. Day 2 is the toughest day. I think day 1 is pretty easy because you're just, you know, you sort of have so much glycogen hanging out in your muscles from, you know, you're just sort of on your regular thing and you're switching over to ketosis. And I think now you're kind of going into deep ketosis on day 2. The cellular cleanup, I think, starts in earnest tomorrow, but I think it's happening now, at least from what the science, you know, says. I don't know exactly what my body's doing, but all I can tell you is how I feel is hungry. And what has been really, really nice to have is, you know, having the glutathione and the vitamin C today. It was like this flavor explosion in my mouth, you know, from Cymbiotika, because it's that, you know, what do you say, liposomal delivery. And so each of them have their own flavors. And it was just like, oh, it's like I'm having dessert. So I was really happy to add that. But actually, I'm most appreciative for the Magnesium Threonate. This has been a sleep game changer for me. The last time I did a fasting mimicking diet, my sleep scores, I looked them up. They were between, I think they were around 75 to 78. I don't typically get very good sleep scores in general. They're usually hovering around like 78 to 85 because I'm having some hormone issues. So even when I'm not fasting, they're not very good, but they drop even worse when I am fasting. But last night, I am happy to report my sleep score was at 86. So, which is like some of the best sleep I've had in days. So I was really, really happy to see that. And it's definitely the Magnesium Threonate, and it has got this lovely vanilla cream flavor. So you have that before bed. Again, it's like having a treat, especially when you're on a fasting mimicking diet. So highly recommend. All right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow on day 3. Okay, day 3 in the books. I've eaten all that I'm going to eat today, and in about an hour, I'm going to have my activated charcoal, and then, 3 more hours, I'm going to head to bed. So day 3, pretty easy. Started off a little woozy this morning when I was in the sauna. Hot tip, if you are in the sauna under any conditions, but particularly under fasting conditions, you may not be able to go as long as you normally do. I usually go 27 minutes. I hit 20, and I was like, I'm not feeling very good. I thought, oh, I'll just wait and see if it passes, but it did not pass. By 22 minutes, I was out and in the shower. Just hot tip, like, don't push yourself in the sauna. My dad actually passed out in a sauna one time and ended up in the hospital. So, let's all learn from that lesson. Okay. Don't do what my dad did. So that's really been the major thing. I mean, I'm still like, I'm not hungry, but I feel empty. I'm just, I'm staying away from like cooking shows and cooking blogs and looking at pictures and kind of just trying to stay out of my kitchen in general, which has been kind of nice because it does, not cooking every day and kind of doing these slower, modified, quicker workouts has given me a little bit more time. So that's kind of fun. So that's really cool. And then, I last night I was like, like I looked at this glutathione and I realized the Cymbiotika glutathione has also micro PQQ and CoQ10 as well as alpha lipoic acid. And I was like, wow, like that is like the quadruple threat antioxidant. So that is amazing. Like all 4 of those things are working really hard together to keep your cells protected from the oxidative stress. And I think, as anybody in this space is probably hearing more and more about the toxins in our environment. We've got from air to water to, the microplastics, and everywhere you turn, there's something. And, I hope that it doesn't scare anybody or have anybody be stressed out there. I mean, if just nothing else, it's just information to empower yourself with and figure out, the best practices to protect yourself. And given all of that I've learned about, toxins and what I have been through and how horrible it feels to be kind of under the threat of heavy metals, I always try to look for ways to detoxify on very simple levels. And I'm going to add this to my everyday protocol. So you'll see it on my website now. I'll put that up there because I think this is a stellar combination. And again, being liposomal, then I know that, it's getting delivered to my cells. So, we don't always have time to go out for a glutathione IV. And I certainly can't always take N-acetylcysteine, certainly under these conditions. I can't, it's just too hard on my stomach. So, but I think, given what I see here, these ingredients, these 4 ingredients, I'm going to just take this every day. I think it's going to be one of the things I'll use to protect myself. So you guys, day 3 in the books. Thanks for hanging in here with me. 2 more days to go. And please, feel free to put your questions below too. All right. Okay, day 4 in the books, check. I woke up this morning thinking, oh my God, I have 2 more days of this. Are you kidding? But it's funny because by the time I went to the gym, I did just, a quick 15-minute walk, nothing major. And then I did a full sauna. I was able to go a full 27 minutes without any issues today. So that felt really good. But when I was leaving the sauna, that was the most profound thing. I felt, on a whole cellular level, I just felt chill and content. I don't, it's the most bizarre but amazing feeling. I've done many fasts before. This is my 3rd fasting mimicking diet, and I've never felt that before. So right now I'm attributing it to kind of turbocharging it with this Cymbiotika supplements, but we'll see. I'll have to do another one without it and see what it's like. But this is just, it's been the most content day. I don't know how to explain it in any other way as if just somebody gave me a chill pill and I'm all right, I've got a lot of stuff I need to do, but I'm just going to take it one thing at a time. I'm not worried about anything. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And if I have to I'm going to try to remember this feeling because I'm sure I'll get back to being my stressed out self. But, we all have stressors, right? Anyway, but on a cellular level, what's happening in day 4 from what I read, again, from what I read in the science, not from what I'm testing in my body, but my body is apparently in full fat burning mode. And I have lost 4+ pounds. I can't imagine all of that's fat, but right now I am, just pretty much living off, fat. The deep cleaning mode is in full force, and it's recycling, breaking down and recycling the older, senescent cells, as well as sirtuins are activated. So these are things that'll help protect my cells and may promote a longer life. Then I'm producing a lot of anti-inflammatory compounds, so helping me reduce a lot of inflammation. And maybe that's why I feel so chill. I don't know, but And then my cells are becoming like a lot more resistant to stress and damage. And what's really going to start happening now is they're going to prepare for renewal and activating these stem cells. Okay, so like this is like my body's repair crew. So a way to think about it is like spring cleaning, quite literally spring cleaning in your house. You know, instead of just like bringing in a bunch of new furniture and like painting over, you know, paintings and painting over the walls, and you know, this is like cleaning everything first, pulling out all the stuff you don't want, and then we're going to prepare, we're making our plans for what we're going to bring in. So that's kind of what's happening on a cellular level. And I just think it's so interesting that like I feel it, like I feel it on a cellular level, just so completely chill and content and just ready to go. And I'm looking around my house and kind of going, I really need to do that, and I really need to do that, and I need to clean this up, which I just think is so interesting, because I really believe what happens on the inside is reflected in our environment that we keep around us. And so I find it interesting that I'm very, very, very motivated to spring clean my house, which doesn't happen happen very often, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not messy, but I don't always stay organized. So definitely a lot of organization is going to be happening this weekend. So anyway, also one update, I changed the protocol around. I changed to moving the charcoal to right after my sauna. So I'm doing 5 a.m. the Shilajit with my green tea, 7 a.m. right as soon as I get out of the sauna, I'm doing the activated charcoal. Then I'm waiting another 2 hours before I have the glutathione and the vitamin C. So that's at 9 a.m. My first meal is at 10 a.m. and then, eat from 10 to 4, and I'm doing the magnesium threonate at night, which by the way is helping. Again, my sleep has been wonderful. I think I got an 81 last night, which for me is good. So I'm going to take that. I felt good. I feel like I'm sleeping more deeply, and I was remembering a lot of dreams. So again, a little bit more REM sleep, a little more deep sleep. That's been really, really nice. Just a word of caution on activated charcoal. Just, what's wonderful about it is that it will, bind to anything and everything. So if you got a lot of toxins going on in there, in your gut, it'll just bind to all of that. But if you happen to be taking nutrients too close to it, it's also going to bind to that too. So while it's really beneficial, it's not something, it's also not something you want to go make in your barbecue and grab charcoal and mix it with water. That is not a good idea. Okay, so you need something, this activated charcoal for it to work and to be safe. So that's one. Cymbiotika recommends 1 hour before and 1 hour after. I just like to play it really, really safe, and I just do 2 hours around it. So you can decide what works for you, but I'm factor of safety person. So that's it for day 4. Super excited to share this with you guys. And tomorrow, day 5, will be my last day, and we'll talk a little bit about how we're going to prepare for day 6, because that's actually kind of a day that's important. So, all right, have a good night, you guys. You guys, I'm done. Day 5 is done, and I'm done sort of actually, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So day 5, peak cleaning and renewal mode. Totally, the house has been cleared, all the junk, and it is anxiously awaiting all the new stuff. So that's kind of what's happening on a cellular level, right? So my system is being reset and rebalanced, the cells are primed for renewal and regeneration, and then all the mechanisms that repair your DNA damage are working overtime by day 5. And these cells now are just they're just waiting for the new nutrients that I'll feed it tomorrow. So that makes day 6 a very important day as well, which I have never really taken advantage of in the past, to be perfectly honest. I didn't understand this until I did a lot of research for this episode, how important that refeeding is when you, on day 6. So tomorrow I thought, okay, instead of not that I eat very unhealthy, but I want to be particularly healthy, and you're not supposed to start with proteins immediately. So I'm just going to do some avocado toast for breakfast. I thought I would do a veggie soup that I've made with some bone broth. So there's a little bit of protein in that bone broth. And then for dinner, I'll start having protein, and I'll have it I'll have some white fish in there that I'm going to have, because I think it's a little bit more easy for the body to absorb protein like that versus having a steak. So I'm just trying to work with my body and veggies too. So it'll be a very veggie intense day, like most days here, but I just want to be really, really careful in what I'm feeding. And like I said in the past, I've never done that. So I'm curious to see if it helps the glow up stay around, if that contented feeling, which I have felt today too. And by the way, my sleep score last night, I think, was 83. So I'll post what they are in the show notes, what they were day after day. So I do think that magnesium threonate worked, but I also think that the vitamin C really helped with the glow up. One of the things that my friend, she's a dermatologist, she just shared with me, I don't know why I didn't know this, but I just thought vitamin C was really good for your immune system. But apparently it's one of the building blocks in creating collagen in the skin. So when you're taking in all of this collagen, you actually need the vitamin C to build it. So I do think that's helping with the skin glow up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it in the mirror. I'm whoa, I love it. I wish I usually get a little bit of this, but it just seems a little extra this time. So I'm very pleased. I'm going to be taking this vitamin C like every day now. I'm also going to add that to my protocol. It's 1,000 milligrams. And what I love is it's got phosphatidylcholine in there too. Not tons, but a little, but that really helps with absorption. It also has a little bit of biotin as well. So great, you know, great for your skin and hair and nails and all those good things. So that is it. Day 5 in the books. And like I said, day 6 is an extra day. I'm not going to film that. I don't think you need to see that, but I hope that you're motivated and called to like amp up your health. And if you have any questions about a fasting mimicking diet, feel free to put them in the comments below, or, you know, message me on Instagram at juliegibsonclark.com. And any links to Cymbiotika also will be in the show notes as well. And if I can negotiate, I'm still working on some discount codes for you guys. So if I can negotiate a discount for you, that will be in the show notes too. All right. Thanks, you guys. Hey, very quickly, I thought, you know, I would show you exactly what I had on day 6. So I broke the fast in the morning with avocado toast with fermented vegetables and a little side of beet kvass. Then I had some greens latte for lunch. And for dinner, I was able to catch the sunset with a friend at a Mediterranean restaurant and had some multiboule and hummus with veggies and octopus for dinner.